All right. I want to start this off by saying that vampires do exist, okay, people? They're real. I've seen them. They're called hookworms. They drink your blood, and they turn you into zombies incapable of regular human work. Except that these vampires live inside of your body. It takes a lot more than any mere wooden stake to kill them. Marcus Kaji, PhD candidate, vampire hunter. I got 3 rules for hunting vampires. Rule number 1 is know your battleground. So hookworms are parasitic nematodes that live in the soil and literally chew their way through your flesh into your small intestine. This is where they drink your blood, causing anemia, malabsorption of nutrients. But like a good vampire, they don't usually kill their prey. No. Rule number 2, know why you fight. Chronic infection causes severe reduction in the quality of life in humans and animals infected and causes billions of dollars in lost productivity every single year. And if you think I'm exaggerating, on the left are 2 brothers, aged 17 and 21. The older brother weighs 60 pounds less than his younger brother, and he's very malnourished because he was infected with hookworm at a young age, and he lived in a time when drug treatment simply didn't exist. So rule number 3 for hunting vampires, and this is my favorite, know your weapons. So nowadays we have 2 or 3 different kinds of drugs for treatment, but the problem is that we have drug resistance cropping up against all of them. So to combat this drug resistance, we have to ask the question, how do these drugs even work in the first place? All right, well, when a worm wants to move, it sends a signal from one neuron to another in the form of a chemical message or a key that's released from the first neuron that binds to its lock on the second neuron, or the receptor. You open the lock, you propagate the signal, and muscles contract. Good. But you have a drug that overactivates or blocks that lock. You now interrupt that signal, paralyze the worm, and you kick it from the host. So this is where I come in. I study previously unidentified receptors from hookworms. I cut and paste them from the worm into an isolated system, to study them alone one at a time. And then I apply drugs to see how differences in the changes of the shape of the key influence how they interact with the lock. And what we've been finding is that these hookworm receptors respond quite uniquely to certain drugs compared to other worms and parasites. And by comparing different species of hookworm receptors now, we can improve current drug treatment. If you look at what drug affects which receptor from which hookworm best, or even identify new keyholes in those locks to aid in future drug development, because having a wider drug arsenal and a better understanding of how they work is absolutely vital to controlling these global infection rates. And at the end of the day, I would like to live in a world where these vampires are truly creatures of myth. Thank you, and good hunting.